Hey y'all, AB3 here. Before we get started with today's show, I just want to give you a couple of updates on the greatest hunting app that there is right now. Of course, I'm talking about the Onyx Hunt app. I have it. I don't go into the woods without it. Onyx Hunt, man, that application saved me so many times. I want to tell you about the wind and weather. We all know that plays a big part in what we do, how we decide to hunt, where we decide to hunt. And when you have the Onyx Hunt application, you can see hour by hour forecasts for wind speed and direction. Check it out for the next 8 days, any spot that you hunt on your map up to the next 8 days. That means you can plan ahead, kind of like how they said in the AT movie, plan ahead, amigo. You can do that when you got the Onyx Hunt app. Weather updates coming from 100,000 weather stations, refreshed every 15 minutes. Large, intuitive visuals make it easier for hunters to identify weather patterns, make those in-moment decisions, switch it up, kill those big deer, kill those big elk, get after those ducks and geese, making quick on-the-spot decisions, man, to help you be successful. Trim tracks, man. If you got the trim tracks, you can easily get to and from your stand. Sometimes you forget to turn your trim tracker off. Now with the trim tracks, you can trim those extra steps, get it down to a precise, direct route in and out of your hunt area. Onyx Hunt, know where you stand. Make sure if you don't have it for your Android or your iPhone, it is available. You can also use it on your browser. Web maps are available. Whatever you choose to use, just make sure you're using Onyx Hunt.
From Stone Mountain, Georgia, this is the Bryant Land Show. Hosted by proud Gamecock and South Carolinian AB3.
All right, everybody, welcome to another Monday, another Bryant Land Show. Appreciate you guys taking the time, making the download, coming through. Hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day on yesterday. You got your significant other everything she or he wanted, whether it be your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, all that good stuff. Hopefully everyone got what they needed for Valentine's Day, including all the folks that may not have had a Valentine or be single, or as they call it, Single Awareness Day. Hopefully you had a good day yesterday. You know, I've noticed that people find ways to get through certain things. You know, they will take a traditional holiday and flip it in order to make it fit for them. I saw all kinds of stuff on my timeline as far as like I think it was like Galatian or Galentine or something like that day, which is like, I guess, a Valentine's Day amongst friends. There's a lot of women posting about the Galentine. Of course, Single Awareness Day, when, you know, all the single people, you know, they're just like, well, whatever, this Valentine's Day thing, you know, it's Single Awareness Day. And then, of course, my one of the other ones that I saw, you know, all the, you know, loving me and self-love is the best love and self-care is the best care. That, I mean, all of that to me is just code for, you know, I don't have a man, or, you know, if you're female, or for, you know, guys, were some guys posting for that. It's just kind of code like, all right, we get it. You don't have anybody. We got it. You know, you're telling the world that you're okay with it or whatever. But nevertheless, either way, hopefully February 14th was a wonderful day for those of you participating in the Valentine's Day shenanigans. As for the show this week, it is all about food. Every now and then, I like to talk about some of the different ways that I get to enjoy wild game. And today is going to be a day where we're just going to talk about some food that I've had a chance to experience, some food that I love, that I've put my own wild game twist on it, with traditional dishes like, burgers and spaghetti, just doing something different, with deer meat. And then I try something for the first time that I had not tried before. So you're going to have to stick around and get to that. But it is something that we have talked about ad nauseum. If you are a devout listener of the Bryant Land Show, first of all, thank you. Second of all, we've talked about this subject, like I said, plenty of times. And I did something that I said that I would not do. I finally did it. But like I said, you got to stick around to the end to find out about that. So without further ado, we're going to dive in, talk about some different foods. But before I do, just want to remind you, make sure if you're not already doing it, you're listening to our podcast on our website, BryantLandCountry.com, BryantLandCountry.com. We have everything on our website. We got merch. We got our podcasts. We got videos. So make sure you are listening to our podcast on BryantLandCountry.com. Want to say thank you and send a big shout out to the folks over at Onyx Hunt. They are sponsoring our podcast. Our friends at Irish Setter Boots are keeping us fitted in the boot game, getting us with nice boots for our hunts and stuff, especially with turkey season coming up. Irish Setter Boots, want to say thank you to those folks. And of course, we're talking food today. So the folks at Traeger Grills, get your Traeger on. Want to say a big shout out, big thank you to those fine folks as well. Now, let's get started and let's talk about food.
Bryantland.
So, by no stretch of the imagination am I considered a food connoisseur by any level. When you think about food connoisseurs, I think about former guests that I've had on the show, Rachel and Wade from Elevated Wow, my boy Jonathan from Black Duck Revival. Those are folks that really are food connoisseurs, great cooks, and make, really good entrees, have like garnishes and, really do like a presentation and whatnot. I'm just an old country cook. Okay. That's basically what it boils down to. And I like what I like. And when it comes to food and trying new things, I have a rule of thumb, especially going to a restaurant, that anything that I pay for, anything that I'm paying for, I'm not experimenting. That's basically, my rule of thumb. If I'm paying, I'm not experimenting. I'm going to get, what I know, and I'm pretty much going to stick into that lane. But with the theme of this podcast being, trying new foods, the one thing that I want to share with y'all, a couple of months back, one of the new recipes that I tried was Dominican spaghetti. And I have some Dominican friends, and they basically said, we'd never heard of what the hell you're talking about. Well, it's a recipe. It's online. A friend of mine on Facebook gave me the recipe. I followed it to the T, which is something for me that is very rare. I'm not a big, following type person when it comes to recipe. I kind of do my own thing. But with this, the Dominican spaghetti, basically I made it with venison. Obviously, most people, they make spaghetti with beef and, things of that nature. But most of the time, whenever I do a spaghetti or any kind of pasta, as long as I got ground venison, I'm going to do it with that. So just real quick, the Dominican spaghetti, box of spaghetti, and you can use any kind of spaghetti. Sometimes when I make spaghetti, I don't use the noodles. I like to use, like the curly noodles. Even sometimes I like to use the bow tie pasta. I don't always, like to use just the regular stringy spaghetti. I'm also a firm pasta kind of guy. I like the, texture and stuff. I don't like real wet, noodly kind of pasta. But anyway, so you do your box of pasta, half a teaspoon of minced garlic, chopped cilantro, very fine chopped onion, finely sliced peppers, red and green, for the, like the color and stuff. Now, most people, or the recipe, I should say, called for just regular old ragu sauce, spaghetti sauce. I personally, when I made mine, I like the chunky with the garden veggies. I believe is the kind of ragu that I like to do. And then, or you can use the 8 ounce of Goya tomato sauce. If I don't use like the ragu chunky, then I will use like the I think like Heinz like tomato paste or tomato sauce, that kind of deal. Half a cup of milk, a teaspoon of butter, a bouillon cube, which I thought was really interesting. I did a chicken bouillon cube in it, and that was really, really good. You use that to add for the flavoring. I also had the starchy water, which I had no idea. If you go back to that post about making Dominican spaghetti, I had no idea about starchy water. But either way, did the starchy water, followed the recipe down to a T, and then the Dominican spaghetti came out really well. It was a twist on, just your regular garden variety spaghetti that we've all been taught to make probably since we were like 8, 9, 10 years old. And then putting a twist on that with the venison, with ground venison that I used before. So there you go. Dominican spaghetti. It's great. We're going to move on here to something else. Now, outside of backstrap, which is, like the most coveted part of the deer in certain circles, burgers are my favorite. And one of the things that I tried this year with doing my deer burgers, well, I tried 2 things. First thing, I tried a Lipton onion soup seasoning, like the powder that you put in, you make the onion soup with. A very dear friend of mine who doesn't hunt anything, doesn't eat anything that I kill, but makes one hell of a set of regular hamburgers, put me onto this. So what she does is she takes the Lipton and dump it into, the ground beef or whatever, mix it up, do all of that good stuff. I had never tried it before until I tried one of her burgers. And of course, as soon as I tried one of her regular hamburgers, I already knew that I was going to try it on deer burgers once I got a couple of deer down this year. So with that being said, that is one of my new go-tos for doing deer burgers. It's basically taking venison, ground venison, and depending on how many packs of ground venison that you use, you can use 1 pack of Lipton. If you use 2 packs of ground venison, then I may use 2 packs of Lipton. Just depends on how much venison that you got. And of course, your seasoning taste. Of course, seasoning is all about, seasoning the taste or whatnot. So let's just say if I'm doing 1 pack of ground venison, I'll take 1 pack of the Lipton seasoning, dump it in a bowl, mix it up, dump some breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs I don't really measure, just finish running down a recipe for the spaghetti and how it went step by step by step and measure and all that other good stuff. More often than not, I just kind of just put stuff in there basically off of feel and what, feels right. There's a old joke that says, like black folks, we don't season anything. We just put enough seasoning on there until we hear the ancestors whisper in our ear, "That's enough, child." So that's kind of how I season a lot of the things that I end up cooking. So breadcrumbs, you get your Lipton seasoning, put it in, and the breadcrumbs, of course, is to hold the burger, or is for holding the burgers together. You can use egg. I know some people that do that. I like to use unseasoned breadcrumbs. And the thing about that is when I get my venison, when I get ground venison, I get it 100% straight venison. Some people get it cut like with pork fat or some other kind of fat, just so it can stick together to give it, like a texture to hold together. Me personally, I want 100% lean venison, and so then I'll take the breadcrumbs to hold them together, your Lipton seasoning, mash them all together in the bowl, pat them down, make your patties, make your handmade patties, or if you got a patty maker, use that, put those jokers on the grill, and then you're good to go. So that is my twist on deer burgers, using the Lipton seasoning. And then for me, if I use the Lipton, then I will not use anything else on those burgers as far as seasoning. So those are my deer burgers, and they actually come out. They are really, really, really good.
Brianland.
All right, a couple weeks ago, I had a chance to go to Arkansas. Got an invite from my man Jonathan at Black Duck Revival. I urge you, if you have not checked out Black Duck Revival, it is a great story behind that lodge. There's also 2 episodes worth, if you go back into the archives, with Jonathan and Black Duck Revival, and then another episode, Summer Revival. I urge you to check those out. Basically, the long or the short of that place is that it was a old church, a abandoned church, which Jonathan, through his own sweat equity and is basically his own bare hands, he remodeled and turned it into a hunting camp, a hunting lodge. It is really, really awesome, 5-star in my opinion type place. So if you're ever going through Brinkley, Arkansas, or if you ever just kind of out there and you need a place, to kind of stay, if you're doing like a little getaway or something like that, especially if you're doing any kind of public land hunting in Arkansas, that is the place to kind of go and check out. So that's Black Duck Revival. Jonathan invited me down there on a snow goose hunt. I'll talk more about the snow goose hunt probably in another episode. The takeaway, though, is a food piece. Jonathan worked in the restaurant industry before he opened up Black Duck Revival, so he is an amazing cook. It's the first time I had a chance to try some of his food, and one of the things that I tried down there that I had never eaten before was snow goose heart. I've never eaten heart of any kind. I've taken plenty of hearts. I've broken a few hearts in my lifetime, but never have I ever ate a cooked heart. Matter of fact, I haven't even eaten an uncooked heart for that matter. But Jonathan basically took it, got a little, I forgot what they call the pot. It's like the little portable cookers, hot plate. That's what I was looking for. I started to say Bunsen burner. I knew damn well that wasn't what it was. Basically cooked it on a hot plate, seasoned it. I think it was just like some basic salt and pepper. Put it in the hot plate, kind of flipped it around a little bit. First time I had ever tried it. Safe to say I'm good on that one. It's one of those things where we can check it off. I can say I've done it. I don't see myself doing it again. If you've never tasted any kind of heart before, it is a very rubbery, spongy taste to it. Like I said, I tried it. It's not something that I think I would be apt to try again. I know another fella that has come through on this podcast from KLO Outdoors. He talked about deer heart, and in his opinion, old Kenny said that the deer heart was the best part. I have not tried deer heart, but if it is anything like snow goose heart, I think I'm good on that. Yep. I'm going to be good on that. So check it off. Tried something new. Wasn't really a fan, but we did it, so we're good. On the same snow goose hunt that I went on a couple weeks ago, I tried something that I said that I would be very reluctant in trying. I don't like to say never about a lot of things because you just don't know what could happen. But here on this adventure, if you will, that I went on for the very first time, y'all, I tried raccoon. And now, longtime listeners of the Bryant Land Show know it is very well documented. You can listen to many, many episodes. I've had many guests on that have tried to talk me into or tell me that, raccoon is good. Matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, we had Jamel McBride on. His family has been hunting coons in South Georgia for over 100 years. And he talked about how great his uncle and his dad can prepare a raccoon, how wonderful it tastes. I've had several other guests on in the past that have told me and have talked about, how great raccoon is. The old trash panda, as they are called by some people. And that name right there alone would make you think, you know what? No, I'm good. I'm good on anything that has trash in its first name, right? Like nobody wants to eat that. But this man invited me down. I was very happy to go down, be a part of the experience that he was sharing with some other hunters of different backgrounds. And like I said, we had raccoon. I ate it. It was braised raccoon. I think it was in the oven for almost 6 hours. And if I am 100% truthfully and honest with y'all, the braised raccoon was pretty good. I can't lie. It was pretty good. Had a very beefy roast taste to it. Not 100% sure of everything that old Jonathan put in the braised raccoon, how he fully prepared it, but it was braised raccoon. There was some kind of a sweet potato on the side, sweet potato type, I don't want to say concoction, but some kind of sweet potato thing that Jonathan made. It wasn't just straight sweet potato. But the braised raccoon was really good. So you've heard it here on February 15th, 2021. I am letting you guys know that your boy, AB3, has tried raccoon. Now, the kicker, I cannot say that I won't ever try it again. I do not, however, see myself ever trying to cook and prepare one. It is very much like the old adage where people say, they don't want to know how the sausage is made. I don't want to know how the coon's made. I don't want to be a part of cleaning it. I don't want to be a part of, dressing and cleaning raccoon, getting it prepared to go in, whatever dish you're making in the oven, or pull raccoon, or whatever the heck you're doing to the raccoon. I'll take the final product. I may taste the final product again, but I can safely say it, and I can tell y'all that I want absolutely no part in trying to make preparation for raccoon. So, but yeah, it was good. Like I said, if I'm being 100% honest, it was good. Tasted, like I said, a lot like beef, but I ate it. It was good. I don't know, like I said, if I'll ever do it again, but we'll see. We will definitely see.
Brianland.
So yeah, man. New foods. Snow goose heart. Putting a twist on deer burgers, which I absolutely love. Dominican spaghetti. Absolutely love that. Cook that with some venison. One other thing, real quick too, that I had shared with me that I really enjoyed was jalapeno cheddar deer sticks. Now, I've done deer sticks before, basically like a deer jerky, but my good friend Antonio Marsh from Hunting with the Marshes gave me a pack of jalapeno cheddar deer sticks, and I must tell you, my processor here in Georgia does not make them, but Antonio and I are definitely going to have to make a deal next year, some sort of trade to get me on the jalapeno cheddar deer sticks, because those things, as the kids used to say, were thebomb.com. So that was one more thing that you can add to my trying new foods, or trying different ways of preparing and eating foods that I had a chance to try out, and I really enjoyed that. So shout out to Antonio and for giving me those jalapeno cheddar deer sticks, man. I really enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. AB3, your boy. I tried raccoon. Like I said, tried snow goose heart. Jury's still out on that. Don't know if I really like that. My deer burgers, I enjoy that. The Dominican spaghetti. Just trying to get better at presentation of food when I have people over. So, always a work in progress, trying new things. Before I put a bow on this episode, I want to say thank you to everyone that joined the impromptu Instagram Live while I was recording this episode last night. When I was putting this together, I said, hey, why not do an Instagram Live? Just try it, Just something different, something to do. Had some folks show up. So if you're listening to the final product, the final version of this podcast, really appreciate y'all taking the time to come through and check out the Instagram Live. As always, man, make sure y'all are telling 5 people to tell 5 more people about our podcast. Make sure you're checking our podcast out on BryantLandCountry.com. That is our website, BryantLandCountry.com. Make sure you are listening to the podcast there and telling people about that podcast. Hope you guys have a great, amazing week, and then come back next week, next Monday, right here for another episode of The Bryant Land Show.